Hi guys, No Life 4 here. Welcome. Hi guys, No Life 4. Oh no. Welcome to the first ever Slice Dev Talk. This is gonna be a new format we're trying out, and if you guys like it, we can do them more often. I'm here with Hero. Say hi, Hero.
Hello.
Um, so we've never done this before, so we're gonna have to see how this goes, and you guys are gonna have to give us a bit of feedback here and there. But rather than just streaming the game like usual, we are going to actually show development and have a few devs come in and out here during the stream and show, their own process off while we're working. So while I'm doing boring stuff that no one wants to see, we could show Hero's stream of him modeling and stuff like that. So right now we're waiting for a few other members to show up. Don't get me wrong, we're gonna do some stuff here, but there's going to be more people coming in by the end of the stream. So is the audio working all right? It's hard for me to test the audio, so I need to know if you guys can hear me properly, hear Hero properly, or if like one of us is too quiet. Nothing in chat. Should I be concerned? And you guys are gonna have to. Is everything working?
Yeah, seems to be. People in chat also say it's fine.
Oh, my chat isn't working then.
That's great.
Hold on. Let me open up chat then, so I can see. Yeah, my chat just was blank. I just thought no one could hear me. Okay, there we go. Hi. Now we're in action.
The first comment that was made was by Samurai Vader saying you're alive.
I am alive.
Barely, but he's alive.
I've had a very crappy past few weeks. But let's not get into that. Let's focus on BBT, okay? Because the beta is phenomenal. And we've been putting so much work into this that I almost died. So I guess that should tell you a bit of how hard we're working here at Slice.
I just want you to know that without context, that sounds so weird.
It's true, though. Physically. Yeah. Like, I actually was working so hard, I almost died. So, hooray. But let's not have that happen
Well, instead
again.
of just, before you make it all cryptic, the TLDR of it, No Life just stayed up way too long to work on BBT and passed out and hit his head on concrete.
Hooray.
No, you made it sound so cryptic.
I know, it's fun. Okay. So, we've got a lot to show and talk about today. Mainly in, obviously, the degree of BBT. We're going to have Hero here working on some 3D models. I'll probably show off a bit of the game currently in its current state. And I'm working on some gameplay stuff because if you guys didn't know, BBT's beta is essentially a completely rewritten from the ground up BBT. Code-wise, anyways. Every single aspect of the game is being reprogrammed from the ground up. And we also have recreated a bunch of assets and have finally found our art style. And I want to show the graphical aspects of it because we put a lot of effort into that and it's done. Graphically, BBT is complete, pretty much. It's how it's going to look in the final product. So it's nice to look at that and have a bit of an idea of where, we're heading. And obviously I can show you some of our gameplay stuff, though it's really like
Bare bones.
primitive right now because it's in a completely different project with no models or anything. It's all just placeholder assets, but gameplay is coming along, and I'm really excited to show you guys that. Later, we're gonna have Profabo in here, who is our lead animator, and he's going to likely be working on some new enemies that we haven't properly announced yet. So that's pretty
Yeah.
exciting too. And you guys will be able to see those two
Uh,
specifically new enemies coming in the beta as he animates them. Hopefully, we can get Sloth in here at some point, and he just got Substance Painter, so he's loving that. He's gonna do some texturing. So this stream will be switching between a few different perspectives, and hopefully the format works because I think this could work out really well. One of the main reasons we don't usually do dev streams is because a lot of the work we do is boring. And on top of that, we don't want the stream to get in the way of work. So what we're hoping here is that when somebody is really concentrated or focused on something, the stream can then be focused on somebody else. And we can switch around depending on what's the most exciting and what is and like who's currently working on what, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd say before we start with that whole multi-screen, multi-stream kind of concept, I think for now, considering how long it's been since the last proper update, it would make sense to first have you fully show off some stuff.
I can try,
Maybe by the
but with
yeah.
the stream going, Discord going, I have like 2 Unity projects open right now that I don't want to have to wait to reopen later. Uh, yeah, I don't know if I
I
can
mean,
really play. I can
I mean,
try.
if we have to, I also could stream Unity, but that's like a double quality loss.
Just
So
just stream the latest build.
the builds. All right, I could do that. Um, do you want me to stream with audio?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, okay. I can do that. Hold on, I need to close some stuff here. For safe, I'm gonna run on Vulkan for safety reasons.
Wait, Vulkan doesn't have the working volumetrics though.
Ah, DirectX 11 it is with the long loading times.
Or should we, or should I stream? I can if you need me to. I can do that.
I mean, I still okay.
Yeah,
So I still
whatever.
have a
Let's.
somewhat broken build.
I'll try.
It's a bit older.
I can just stream. If it doesn't work, then we
Yeah.
can fall back to you. But we might as well
Right.
try and see if it'll run properly
Well,
for me.
I
Right
mean,
now.
the issue right now is with Vulkan, like I couldn't show off the proper volumetric lighting, and DirectX 11 just takes years to load stuff, and we don't have to talk about DirectX 12.
Okay. What should I show? Vulkan, GX11? Which one? They both work kind of fine on my end, so
I think just pick Vulkan. I think it doesn't matter, but just
it's
pick
the most
Vulkan.
stable, but it has a less stable frame rate.
That should be fine.
Okay, what screen is it gonna open on? Let's find out. I'm interested. It's always an exciting game.
Imagine having that issue. One monitor gang over here. Yeah.
I opened it, and then it did nothing. That's a good sign, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Why would it work?
I think it's because I have two Unity windows open at the same time right now. Oh, there it goes. Yep, I closed one and then it started working.
Yeah, just close it off. It's cached. It won't take 6 minutes to load
whoops.
back up. Whoop. That's OBS.
Yes, it is.
And that's your browser.
Oh no. Good thing it's not the BBT Trello.
Yeah, that's some cryptic stuff on there. Even I barely understand half of that.
Oh wow, this is lagging really bad. I hope this works. It's still loading, but we'll see. I gotta switch to the other display. All right, is it working?
It's lagging pretty bad. No, okay, no, the stream is fine. I think your game just lags. Oh boy. What a way to start this off.
I have so many programs open right now.
So, guys, new update. BBTs now. I was gonna make a joke. Okay, yes, okay,
It
okay, it works.
crashed.
Oh, well. I was just about to make a joke. New update. BBT now is a black screen.
Okay, let me
All
try
right.
that again. Let me try one more time.
If needs to be, just close off the Unity stuff.
I'm gonna close the ECT project because it's not doing anything right now. There are some more things I need to do in there later, though.
The crash update, yes. It actually is the crash update currently.
Yeah, so let me tell a bit of a story. We've been waiting for like actually a year for a Unity build to come out, okay? Because we needed some features that were confirmed to be coming out in this version. So we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it finally came out in December of last year. And we updated, and it was completely unusable when it launched, when the update came out. It was so broken that you couldn't even keep Unity open for 5 minutes before it would crash. There were tons of errors constantly. It was unusable. And we had to work with this version of Unity, and we still technically are, because because it has those features we need. And they've fixed a few of the problems we've had, and it's getting a little more stable, but it's still just so broken. There's just straight up things that don't work at all in Unity. And
yeah,
it's unbelievable, in my opinion, that they launched a version in such a terrible state.
The main issue is the worst case scenario. There's still one pretty major issue we have right now left within Unity that is not on our side. I think we need to say it's not on our end. And the worst case scenario, because that is kind of a big glitch that causes like a somewhat significant memory leak that can cause crashes, especially on not that strong hardware. And if we get beta done, but that thing still isn't patched, I'm not sure if we can actually like release the update.
We're gonna have to wait to release beta until Unity is stable again. But is this working?
Yeah, it seems.
How's the
No, it looks
volume?
somewhat smooth. Hold on. I would maybe just slightly tone down the volume. I think it otherwise might conflict too much with the voices,
Okay.
but not too much, not by a crazy amount.
There we go.
But yeah, I mean, we're not done yet with the beta, and the one good thing is it's an actively developed version of Unity, so they release updates every 2 weeks currently. And every update does have quite a few patches, so well,
I don't mean to
let's
cut you
just hope.
off, but
Yeah.
we're looking at the beta title screen right now, and
Now we're looking at a black screen,
you
actually.
are? What?
Yes, the stream is having a black screen right now.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be having a black screen right now? Hold on. Yay! Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry about this. 1 second.
Ah.
It's covering everything.
That's fine. All right. BBT. Only 50 minutes in. That's fine. It's been worse.
50 minutes? What?
15 minutes into
okay.
the stream.
Yeah.
It's been worse.
All
It's
right.
not the
So
worst
is it working now?
Yes.
Also, is the chat moving? What's the last message you see?
Darn, this is painful to hear.
Okay. Just
All right.
making sure. All right, but yeah, this is the new title screen, and you're gonna notice that, yes, that's just part of the stream. That's how we're doing it. But you are looking at oh yeah, that outline isn't in the game. That's just from the stream and how it's set up. But yeah, no, you are looking at the beta title screen. Every single scene has had a complete makeover, and it's way more polished now. Wait.
That reminds me that
Hold on.
line.
Wait, hold on.
Oh boy. What? Oh. Okay,
Wait.
I think I know what.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
I think I know. I see where you're
I
going
know
now.
you. I'm a fan of you. Wait. You're just casually in my chat. Okay. Yeah, I've watched your videos forever. And oh my, wow, that's crazy to see. It's great to have you here. I didn't know you watched my content. Sorry, a little nervous now. But yeah, once again, gameplay and all that, all the code is outdated, what you're gonna see here. But the visuals are completed. So
yeah. The main menu is still the same. All right, let's hop in.
Actually, that's insane. Oh my, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely baffled by this because I've been watching your content for years. When I saw you come up in chat, I was like, "There's no way that's really you." But okay, sorry. I don't mean to be like nerding out now. But this is the new and improved title screen, or not title screen, lobby. So
this is a hotel now. If you want to play the game, you have to get a room and order room service.
Squidward cuts in through the radio, rushing the player. Is that volume okay, by the way?
I actually think it toned it down a slightly bit too much. I would turn it up a bit again.
Okay. Okay. So one thing I'm gonna say is in this build, SpongeBob's lighting's kind of screwed up.
At this rate, my shit will never end.
Yeah, that's like pretty much the last thing.
But yeah, Squidward cuts in and rushes you all the time. And we've actually made the employee elevator, which is a staircase, broken. Because A, it's funny, and B, we noticed a lot of players were actually coming here and trying to go through this elevator first, probably because there's a red arrow.
It's kind of counterintuitive, the design.
Yeah, but I think that helps.
You're still here? At this rate, my ship will never end.
Alright, I'm gonna make our way to Jellyfish Fields now.
Yeah, I'd argue that Jellyfish Fields is probably the scene that benefited the most visually, although that's debatable. Also, new elevator.
Yep, the elevator's been redone. You'll notice the black and white effect is gone. It's not going to be permanently gone. It just is because of, once again, gameplay is still not done for this build. But now we are looking at Jellyfish Fields. Which has had a complete style overhaul. It looks completely different than it did in the alpha. And you'll notice there's actual volumetrics here now, so the sun can be blocked by, by things in the environment. We are super proud of how this scene turned out. And this is final. What you're seeing here is how the game is going to look on release.
I think on that note, it's kind of important to mention that for anyone who's been following like pretty much anything we've been doing over the past few years, you've noticed that we scrapped the projects multiple times and restarted, which indirectly is what happened here again. And basically everything got redone. So you could say we more or less restarted in a way. But I think what's really important to stress now that this is the final time. This is the entire point of beta is to be final. Like the entire core, the entire graphics, everything is set up in a way that is the most future-proof, the most stable. Like especially No Life has learned a ton in the last years and even months, and all of this is getting used now to actually have a foundation that fully supports everything we've planned for BBT in a way that not only looks significantly better, at least we hope it looks better, and also you know, there were, like with the old code, it wasn't terrible, but it would have made issues later on, since, you know, there's still a lot of stuff missing even after beta, especially related to the main campaign. And yeah, but anyway, the whole point of the beta is to be the final core of the game. Once beta is done, it's all about new content and no longer about trying to polish what is there.
Exactly.
Because yeah.
Basically, once beta releases, the game's core is complete and shouldn't be changed anymore. And all that'll happen after that, all updates after beta 1.0, will just be adding more stuff rather than redoing or improving existing stuff. That's the best way to look at it. So we do apologize that this update likely won't have a crazy amount of new content. In terms of content, there's going to be multiplayer, first of all, which is the biggest thing. So you'll be able to play co-op now with your buddies.
I'm having a lot of deja vu today.
There will
Buddy.
be...
Not
buddy.
buddy.
But yeah, it's two-player co-op, sorry. It will also include a new horde map, which is... Oh yeah, that's a bug, by the way. That floating fern right there. It'll include a new horde map, which is going to be Goofy Goober themed. And we'll also be including some smaller, basically the maps from this map, each floor from this map, Jellyfish Fields, Goofy Goobers, and Industrial Park, all as smaller survival maps that you can play on. Campaign won't be included in the beta yet. We're still, you know, once the core is done for beta is basically when the campaign will be in full development. So we're hoping that we can get that to a state rather quickly, a good state. Will co-op have 2 SpongeBobs or Patrick? Patrick will be playable. He's already been fully modeled, animated. All that has to be done is he has to be put in the game. The reason he hasn't yet is because of the rewrite I was talking about. So all of the gameplay is being rewritten. So it would be kind of pointless to put him in here and then have to re-implement it. Oh, it's SpongeBob's voice, by the way. We actually have a new SpongeBob voice actor. I can't reveal who it is yet, but you won't be hearing this voice that you're hearing in this build in the game anymore after beta releases.
I'd like to at least say that the new voice is not someone unknown.
Yeah, the voice actor replacing Jesse, our current one, is a pretty well-known SpongeBob voice actor just within the community. So I'm curious to see how you guys react when you find out. Squidward still will be playable, but the way it's going to work is he won't be playable from the beginning of the campaign. Basically, the game is entirely 2-player co-op, and once you reach, and I'm going to spoil this, but once you reach Chapter 3, that's when Squidward will become playable. And if you are playing co-op, you'll have a 3rd player controlled by AI that anyone can switch to at any time. But yeah, no, he's still planned to be playable. His model's actually done too, so, and he's textured and everything.
I could open these presents all day.
So I think to get this out of the way, because it's been asked about a release date. So generally we refrain from giving out release dates for a few reasons. We in the past, like years ago, we really like to give out release dates, and we basically were never able to meet them, which, you know, you could say was just poor planning. But the problem is with just the entire nature of BBT's development being pretty loose, right? This isn't like a job with deadlines and anything. So we normally refrain, and don't necessarily quote me on that, but I do think that beta could be done or nearly done in the next 2 to 3 months max. Although one of the big factors in that will be how Unity gets their stuff fixed. If the Unity version we're using is still unstable and causes issues and crashes when we are ready to launch, then we don't want to put it out yet. So we're kind of hoping that until then, at least the major stuff is out of the way, but since it's on Unity's side, that's not really in our control.
I'd like to add to that and say that, so when it comes to the beta, we've been progressing at such a stable rate recently that I feel comfortable saying that we were originally planning to release beta at the end of February. That plan has not changed yet, but it's not set in stone. That is our current aim, though, is end of February releasing the first build of beta. But as Hero added, we're gonna have to wait until Unity is at a stable enough point for that to even be possible, and that's entirely out of our control. So it's really just up to that.
Don't fight me, you tin can.
And also, I don't want to go on to a full rant because I could talk quite a bit about this, but it's been asked if there will be movie content, since they originally remembered that this was a BFBB remake. So you're not completely wrong. It can be a bit confusing as an outsider. We eventually plan to make like a little history of BBT kind of thing. But I guess to give you the brief answer, yes, there was a Battle for Bikini Bottom themed remake in development by us years ago, way before even like the original, like the official remake was announced.
Hero?
But that project over the years has evolved and developed, and what we have now with Bikini Bottom Tales is completely original, but we still take a lot of inspirations from, I guess, the old classic good SpongeBob games, so mostly BFBB, but also movie and to an extent Truth or Square. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, there will be movie content. There actually already is movie themed content in the game, with Goofy Goober being
We've also got
like
some movie related stuff to show you guys later in this stream. So with regards to some upcoming content, I do want to add on to what Hero was saying though, and say, like, BBT is a completely separate project from our BFBB remake. When Rehydrated was announced, it kind of shook up everything that we were doing, and we scrapped the entirety of our BFBB remake and instead decided to make an original game. And that's what BBT is. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it like a sequel to BFBB, because it's less of a sequel to BFBB and more of a sequel to classic SpongeBob games in general. BFBB,
I guess
game,
you could
Truth
call
or
them
Square.
the classic trilogy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
breaking like that. So yeah, again, that's why we want to make like a more in-depth history of BBT, because it's really hard to follow along as an outsider, because a lot of informations are scattered around Discord posts, live streams, actual videos, or some of the information just never really got out there at all. So we want to eventually give like an overview of how everything worked out, and also hopefully kind of clear a bit of the confusion that still lingers around. But yeah, no, it always developed from the previous project, but this is completely different, a completely different thing from the old remake that we made.
Ouch.
But yeah, so I guess to continue where we left off, you were talking about like what actually changed, and honestly, it's easier to probably name what has not changed in this scene.
Yeah, it's completely different. Like, all the assets are different. Even things as simple as like the platforms you're standing on have been redone. Like the only thing I can see right now that hasn't been replaced.
Decorations.
Yeah, there's a few like smaller things, and the Krusty Towers itself, and like even the trees have been redone. They're just not in yet, and the tikis have been redone, but they're not in yet either, and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy how much stuff has been redone.
Okay, let me try and name the most important things. So we have the new grass platforms with their overhang now being a shader instead of actually modeled, which they're still not optimal. They still have an performance related issue, but they're still they look better. They're more consistent, especially when you scale the platform, so the grass tries to stay consistent, and they also just work a bit better. The actual grass, like not the grass platforms, but the grass that is on top, has been completely remade with a new shader that's pretty complex. It took a lot of work by Nola to get it working. So not only is it, I'd like to say, looking better. You know, it's subjective, so it's not like a hard fact, but it has more features, so it might be a bit harder to notice, but you maybe see like a white line occasionally moving through parts of the grass. Yeah, it's basically like it's wind being visualized.
In a
the grass
stylized way.
Yeah, the grass bends. Okay, although the old one did that too, but still, the grass is bending. It's way more. It's more performant. The old one was kind of bad in that regard. And just the way to use it, actually, like as a level as a lever designer. Yeah, as a lever designer, it's also way easier to use. Like the actual tool No Life made to use it. It's pretty convenient to actually draw the grass, and it works pretty well. Oh, that was loud. I think he refers to all the enemies dying.
Yeah, once again, gameplay has been all the gameplay here is the old gameplay. This is from alpha. You're basically seeing the alpha gameplay with the beta visuals right now. The beta gameplay is all being redone in a separate project. So bugs like that are not going to exist in the next build. Don't get me wrong, there will be bugs, but it will be different bugs than you'll see here in this gameplay.
Yeah, so try to ignore everything gameplay related. It can be a bit hard, I know, but
we'll be showing off some of the new gameplay stuff later in the stream. But right now, we're waiting for some more people to show up before that, so I might as well just play while we're waiting for some of the other devs to join the chat.
I guess to go on with what has changed, so one of the actual, like, pretty much the biggest thing that some of you might be aware, we completely changed the render. pipeline. So basically the part of the engine that is responsible for everything relating to rendering the actual image. So that meant we had to redo all the shaders, had to reset up all the textures, materials and stuff. And so that took, I think that was the main focus of the first few months of beta development, just setting all these things back up. So now one of the big new graphical features Nolife was already mentioning is the volumetric lighting, which is mostly for higher end hardware, but it's I know it's a poor way to describe it, but it's the actual visualization of the light, and it also just helps making the scene more, I guess, brightened up in general, because it's over the last few months when we were drip feeding you guys with at least a few screenshots, one of the most common criticisms was that people thought it looked too dark. And with volumetrics and a few other changes, I think it now looks pretty good. At least I think you don't can't. At least I can't talk. Help me, Noel. At least I don't think you could still say that it's dark. The difference between shadows and lights is way more prominent now.
I don't really want to go to Goofy Goobers yet because it's still got issues with the lights.
Yeah.
Do you think I should go there or no?
I mean, the only real issue are the spotlights.
Yeah,
so I guess it's fine.
But I wanna get running Renegade first.
So what else? Yeah. So while we're in the process of porting over and remaking materials and stuff, a few on the team were really busy remaking a bunch of assets. So a lot of assets not only look more polished now, as in a lot of cases they actually run better now performance-wise, because we merged materials and stuff, you know, just some behind-the-scenes stuff. And what else is there? So yeah, pretty much all the robots have been reanimated since the alpha. It still looks slightly janky with some of them, mostly with the Wattbots, because still their alpha code is not quite on par with it yet. But yeah, robots have been reanimated, and also got there are some additional animations now, like an actual taunt, or when you have shock therapy and they get shocked, they now actually have like a shocked pose, or like they kind of just jiggle around a bit. They have a knockback pose now, stuff like that. Yeah, I think those are like the biggest ones so far. I think speaking about redoing assets, the most affected by that is Goofy Goober. I think there's basically no asset left in Goofy Goober that has not been remade since Alpha. I think the amount of assets that have not been touched since Alpha, you can probably count on one hand. So that also really helped, because a lot of these models were quite old. There's something else I'm missing, like big stuff. I think that's
Can you add
about
Profego
it.
and ask when he's gonna get here?
Also, when I mentioned that people said that the game was too dark back then, someone said, now that you mention it, the robots look a bit dark.
That's because they reflect the environment lighting right now, and Jellyfish Fields doesn't have proper reflection probes. I could add them. They don't change how the environment looks, though. They mainly just change how the enemies look. I don't know if it's worth it. We'll end up seeing We'll see. Also, not only that, but fodders just are darker now. Fodders and specifically have just a darker texture to them than they used to. I'd say Wattbot's probably good too. I already lost my perk. That's great.
Alright, Profaba will be here in 5 to 10 minutes. And to answer your question, no, there will not be a sponge clock cheat code. We generally try to really refrain from adding or doing stuff with SpongeBob that could be perceived as harmful to the IP. And giving SpongeBob a clock, even if it's for a cheat code, is certainly not, certainly falling in that category. Also, you know, it would take a bit of extra work, and there's still plenty of stuff to do for the actual game, so we'd rather focus on stuff like that as well first. Yeah. So, is there something else? So yeah, that was always our dilemma with beta. It's such a huge and important update, but it was always really hard to show stuff off. So because first of all, the game looked like it just looked completely messy for months. Because there were a lot of missing materials, everything was purple. Because of that, and that wasn't really nice to show off. And even now, when we're done, the sad part about graphics is they're easy to show off. So this is like at this point a year of work on graphics, and here we are after 30 minutes, and we're basically done explaining what has changed with the graphics on a broader scale. So that's why the amount of updates has been so few and sparse in between. Also, giving SpongeBob like a cannon that shoots close would fit the theme more, but then again, it's just a joke feature, and while these can be nice, we still like to use the time we have on more important things first, because even after all of that, BBT is still a really ambitious project, which, you know, only time will tell if we will be able to fulfill it in the way we hope we will. So, you know, there needs to be, even if this is not like a professionally made game, like in a studio or something, we still need to prioritize. So, joke features are nice, but, you know, programming in an entire first-person shooter mode just for that is probably not worth it.
I'm not trying to be rude at all, but you're starting to ramble a little bit.
I could open these presents all day.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Anyway, Goofy Goober. Ignore SpongeBob becoming a ghost.
Yeah, his lighting is still messed up here.
So the doors are open. Ignore that too. So, yeah, as we mentioned, like, oops. Yeah, as we mentioned, Goofy Goober, pretty much all the assets have changed and have been updated. I think Goofy Goober right now is the one that still looks the most unfinished. So there's still a few things here and there that are missing. The lights, some certain light types are still not done. That will be the most prevalent. On the stage, like the spotlights next to the stage look really bad close up, so that is not gonna be there. It's, yeah, just try to ignore that. SpongeBob being a ghost is hard to the fact that there wasn't really a point in setting up the player to be compatible with all the new shaders and stuff if the current player will be replaced once the gameplay rewrite is done anyway. So yeah. Again, I know it's probably hard, but try to ignore these things.
Yeah,
confused.
a little bit of... I'm trying to not veg out and play the game, because like when I play BBT I get really into it. So I'm gonna pause for a minute. But so much under the hood stuff has been done recently that it's kind of crazy. Like even the volumetric lighting that we have, right? We had to make that, or specifically I had to make that. That wasn't something that was built into Unity or anything. That was made completely from scratch, and so was the new grass that we have, and all of our new shaders, and everything. I mean, pretty much everything that you're seeing was created by our team. We're not even using the built-in Unity stuff because, to be fair, a lot of it's bad. Like for example, in beta, we're gonna have a completely redone AI system for all of our enemies, and that's gonna be done by scratch by us, not even using the Unity UI or AI. I mean, it's completely ours, and that's one of the reasons why this update has taken so long. It's because we've been having to create and just build everything up from nothing. And I'm hoping that it'll be worth it in the end, because one thing that this brings, especially, is good performance. The beta performs significantly better than the alpha does on lower end hardware, specifically. We're talking like somebody who before was getting like 40 FPS on the lowest settings is now getting over 60 at the highest settings on lower end hardware, which is crazy. And we're not even done. We're still missing like 2 major things that are going to speed the game up more. So we're hoping that with this update, the game will be more accessible to people who have, you know, not as good PCs or are going to be playing on mobile, because if you guys didn't know, there is a mobile version of this game for Android. And the current release performs pretty poorly unless you have really good hardware on your phone. Hopefully, though, this next build will perform a lot better in that regard. So we just want to make sure as many people can play as possible.
So yeah, we can't really give out specific numbers.
No, not yet.
Yes, like the performance increase, simply because it's not done yet. The graphical rewrite that we have right now, considering the increase in quality, it performs the same on higher end hardware right now, maybe a tad bit better. But yeah, as No Life said, especially lower end did get a significant boost, and also yeah, a few major performance increase systems aren't in yet, since they are part of the gameplay rewrite. So there's still room. Yeah, so it basically it's a technique that can severely reduce the load on your hardware by animations, or by just generally by objects that are being animated, which, you know, there's quite a few of them, especially in horde mode. So what that will mostly do is, especially when on higher times when there's a lot of enemies, that will significantly reduce the performance tank you get from that. So we know a few people that like BBT that are able to play BBT fine until like they get higher times and more enemies spawn. But yeah, so overall that should really help, just for everyone, really. So if you're a high-end gamer and you love those sweet frames, you will get more. If you're a low-end gamer, at the very least, you'll get more frames, and you might even be able to turn up the graphic settings a bit. Also, we have been pleased by Profabo now.
Oh, chat. It is I, the lead 3D animator and another 3D artist of the team.
All right, I got.
Did you guys introduce yourselves, or you?
We did at the beginning.
Okay.
I have some questions to answer really quick though. Yeah, how will co-op work? So it's hard to.
I'll be right back.
It's hard to really explain without it being demonstrated, which we obviously can't do yet. But I can try. Each player is going to see from their own perspective normally, and co-op is going to be networked, by the way, not local co-op, like split screen. We had thought about doing split screen, but I don't think it's worth it, mainly because if we were on console, I'd say it'd be different, but with PC and mobile as our target, I don't think it's worth the effort. But online co-op, you'll see from your own perspective. It'll be like playing normally. One person will be SpongeBob, another one will be Patrick, in this build anyways, until Squidward's added. And overall, you just play normally. The way that character switching works is like Lego Star Wars, kind of. So if you're playing single player in the campaign, you'll still have both SpongeBob and Patrick. You have to, because the game is built around having two characters. So you'll actually switch between them depending on what you're doing, and you can. They'll also be controlled by AI too, so you can be like, follow me or do this thing or do that thing, and they'll do it, and they'll just generally help you do things while you're playing. And in co-op, that other AI then gets just controlled by whoever you're playing with. And in Horde mode, or in Director's Cut here that we're playing right now, there will be no player swapping, and there will be no AI character within there with you. It's just you and the other player, whoever the two playable characters are on that map, and you can just, play. I know that's probably the worst explanation I could have given, but hopefully that's enough.
I'd say it's pretty good.
But yeah,
It's pretty good.
co-op is coming with the next update, though. This one that we're, kind of showing off right now. And we're excited to do
Infinite. It's like a loading screen for me. Oh,
I don't know what that was. Apparently the stream
I
stopped.
think it's running now again.
What was the last thing you
Wait.
guys heard me say?
Is Hero running the stream, or
Oh, I am.
I don't know? Okay.
I'm sorry, the stream just like bugged out there and stopped for a second.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, it seems to work now again.
Okay. Yeah, the next update will include the multiplayer, so you'll be able to actually play with other people. And we're gonna host parties. So essentially, normally you'll be locked to 2 players in co-op, but we plan to do big parties where we can have like 50 players in one game and just sort of have everybody play together. And how the game's gonna work is it'll scale depending on the amount of players you're playing with, so there'll be more or less enemies, and the enemies will be stronger or not depending on the player count.
And back. Hello.
Welcome back. The stream broke while you were gone and then started working again randomly, so
Fun.
but now that Profabo's here, I'm actually gonna stop playing the game.
What?
And
No! It can't be.
we can now move on to actually getting some work done.
Yeah, woo!
That's blasphemy. Did you answer? Sorry, I was gone.
I
But,
did.
Did you answer the question about the hub world?
Oh,
as
no,
well?
I didn't. I missed that one. Is there going to be a hub world like BFBB, or is it going to be linear like movie game? There will be a hub world. The way BBT works is kind of odd. I don't know if odd's the right word. It's different. There will be a hub world that you'll progress through, but the way that you move into different levels will be locked behind things you get from other levels. So, for example, in Jellyfish Fields, at the end of it, you're going to get a jar of jelly, King Jellyfish's jelly, like in BFBB. Hold on, let me rewind a bit and explain that concept in of itself. In BBT, your main goal, something your characters are doing, is collecting a bunch of memory objects, or like objects of importance to SpongeBob and Patrick's lives. And the first one you get is the jar of jelly in Jellyfish Fields. And to get to then Goofy Goobers, which is the next level, you need to have that jelly from Jellyfish Fields. There will be some areas that you can get to without having objects from other levels, but for the most part, you need to have the thing from the previous levels, and you need to have a certain amount of pages to open them. And on top of that, I should probably specify, our levels are more open-ended than BFBB's. So our actual main levels, right, are, I call them open worlds. So rather than having something like where everything's connected, like a traditional open world where you can walk from anywhere to any other point, or like BFBB where, you know, you're having these level transitions all the time. It won't work like that. You enter Jellyfish Fields, and then when you enter Jellyfish Fields, it is one large cohesive environment with lots of stuff to do. It's completely open sandbox for you to explore, and there will be a main story path that you can take, or you can go and just do other things and other quests in the environment if you want to do that instead. The only thing that's necessary is you have to do at least the main quest before you can get to the next area. Because obviously we have to make sure the story is progressing.
Yeah, and also for gameplay reasons, there will be logs, like in our case, page-related logs. So basically, the same as what BFBB did, or movie game did, with the golden spatulas and Goofy Goober tokens, respectively. So yeah, so two requirements: you need to have at least a certain amount of pages. So you can't just, I don't know, rush the mains quest, because that's also kind of boring. And you also need to do the main quest line or main storyline, which in itself is more linear. But the entire gameplay around it is more open world-ish.
Can you guys hear? Is the audio working, or is it still broken?
Oh no, the audio works.
Okay.
At least I'm getting sound.
Okay.
Okay, then it's something on your end, Brandroid.
I'd say you should refresh the page, or like close
You
YouTube
can
and reopen
hear.
it. Oh, right.
Hey,
Right.
can't hear you.
I mean, okay, never mind. They have audio. They
Oh,
just said
okay.
they don't for reasons.
Okay.
What were those portals that were scattered about?
So there's a lot of purposes. Each color does a different thing, but you essentially have red ones, which act almost like duplicatotrons in BFBB. They spawn enemies in a certain location, and those enemies will keep spawning until you break the portal. You have purple ones that connect red ones together. If red ones are connected to a purple portal, you can't destroy the red ones. You have to destroy the purple portal, and that'll destroy all the connected red portals. You have yellow portals, which act as spawners in horde mode. Basically, they're they can't be destroyed. They're infinite portals. Those will probably be placed somewhere in the campaign too, I'd say. They're just enemy spawners that can't be destroyed. And then you have blue portals, which you can walk through. They work almost like portals in the game Portal. Like they connect you from one place to another place. You walk seamlessly through and you end up in that other spot. And technically, I think that's all of them. There is another kind of portal, and that's just the ones that you use to enter levels. But that's it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Also, if I can cut in for a second because I want to document this. For the campaign, if we end up doing what we originally planned to do with the portals, with the rifts that lead you to the level, what we had in mind was that you had a rift, you enter it, then you would get like a dynamic
I'm not
loading
sure if you should
cutscene.
say that because wouldn't that kind of spoil a few things?
Not really.
Not, you know.
But hear me out.
Can I explain it? Is it okay if I do?
Okay.
So originally our plan was to have it where when you enter a level, you end up falling, right? As SpongeBob and Patrick, you end up falling through sort of a void space that changes between different environments. And then when the level's loaded, another portal will open up beneath you and you'll seamlessly fall directly into the level. So it almost feels like there's no loading screens. You go through, you're falling. We might have even put like a mini game there. We haven't decided or not. And then you fall through the second portal into the environment and the game just goes. We aren't sure if we're going to be doing that anymore. We have seen some leaks from Cosmic Shake, and it seems that they are doing almost exactly the same concept we had for that. And it works the exact same way. So we're not sure if we want to do that now and, to avoid the obvious comparisons that are going to be made if we both have the exact same level loading transitions. But for the record, we've had this idea for a long time. This is not a new thing. This is something that we've had for a while. But we're likely going to have to find a new way to implement those transitions because we don't want to, draw connections.
It's the rehydrated name all over again.
It's not that bad. It sucks, but we'll have to find something. I'm going to take this moment really quick just to say, if you aren't on our Discord, I recommend joining because we do post updates there and our community's pretty active. And if you do join, you'll get more updates faster, as well as you can, help with feedback or even become a tester for the game and stuff like that. So, not to mention that that's currently where the game is hosted. So if you want to download the game, you actually have to join the Discord server right this moment. It won't be that way when beta releases, though.
Right now, or you'll miss your chance.
So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Profabo, do you want to explain what you're modeling? Because they're just watching.
Yeah. So I'm not actually modeling something right now.
Not modeling. Sorry. Said the wrong thing.
I'm actually in the process of rigging a new enemy that we'll have in the next release, which is the Slammer. It's a character from Goofy Goobers. And he'll kind of work like his movie game counterpart, but then again, not really. So he will have his broom as well, and he'll try to hit you with his broom. But rather than just being a carbon copy of Hammer Robot, he'll actually do something else, which I don't know. Can I tell them
Oh yeah.
what he does?
Oh yeah, you can
Okay.
fully talk about it. I already said we'd be revealing this enemy this stream.
Oh, okay. So he'll use his broom to slam on the ground, and this slam will kind of rip open the floor in a line shape in front of him, and will create a physical barrier for SpongeBob. Would it make sense to say physical barrier, or should I say like?
It creates a hazard that if
A
you touch, you
temporary
take
hazard.
damage.
Okay, yeah. That's a good name.
In lines within the environment that you then have to platform over.
Exactly.
So, seeing as you mentioned Rehydrated and Cosmic Shake, how do you guys feel about them? We all have different opinions about Rehydrated specifically, and with Cosmic Shake, I don't think any of us have played or like seen the game enough to really have opinions on it. We're gonna have to
Try
wait
to
until it
avoid
releases.
spoilers. But overall, I still think it's important to mention that it's still a really great thing to have it be revived, right? As
Yeah.
a game series, which, you know,
Yeah.
not by Activision. So no matter what, I think it's just really good that, I mean, keep in mind, it's one of the very first instances of a licensed game like that getting a remake with Rehydrated, right? That rarely happens, and even if we do disagree with some design choices that were made, we still think it's really great to see the SpongeBob IP is so active in the gaming scene again, also with new titles. But yeah, I don't know about the other two, but I myself haven't really seen a lot of Cosmic Shake, mostly because I don't really want to know a lot about it because I kind of want to go in blind. I've seen a bit of it, but not enough to really give an educated opinion on to that.
Yeah.
You asked if the bartender is an enemy, Dave, the anime rock. Technically, the bartender is an enemy in the movie game, but the model looks so off from the actual source material that it's hard to kind of tell.
We quickly
So
open up the old one. Where did I save them? Hold on 1 second. There they
you
are.
should probably start on the drill now.
I'm already streaming. I'm
Wait, you
already
are?
doing it.
Oh,
Let's see. Okay, so here are both of the versions in comparison. So this is the one from the original game, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game from 2004, and this one's our remade one with his broom currently stuck under the environment. Let me quickly.
Basically, we based him off more of the one from the actual movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Design wise.
No Life, what's your thoughts on BBT? I personally think it sucks. Honestly, me too. I think the devs are kind of lazy and could have done a better job, and it's kind of ridiculous that it's taken about a year since the last update. They should get their stuff together and actually just release the game. Not
Especially
to mention
that one with the cat profile picture, and it sucks.
Not to mention that like Chapter 1 has been teased and in development for so long now, and it's still not released. Like, come on, what's wrong with these guys?
Everything. What's not wrong
They
with these
don't
guys?
care.
There's like everything wrong.
Do you want to explain what you're doing, Hero?
So I'm currently redoing the drill the model, you know what that SpongeBob turns into when you're doing the drill move, particularly the drill level 1. The reason I'm redoing is because apparently back then I didn't know how the hell a drill works apparently. So this right here is the model that is currently used. And if you've ever seen a drill, then you know that this is not how this works. This is not how a drill works. It's not. It doesn't just have random
No,
rings.
that
It looks like this. And the funny thing is for the visual upgrade versions. So if you didn't know, if you upgrade your moves enough, the visuals actually change. So, and for the drill, you actually get a different model. And for some reason, I did it correctly on level 2 and level 3 drill, but not on level 1. I don't know why. Don't ask me, but I'm fixing that now. So I'm actually giving him a drill that makes sense. It also just looks cooler when you do the spin.
Yeah, I do want to tell you though, make sure it doesn't look too similar to the level 2 drill, because it has sort of a slimmer design to it, kind of what you've got going on there. So
Yeah, actually let me get in sponge drill level 1 new. Let me get in the level 2 so I have in comparison. It's been a hot minute at level. Are you sure? Did I save them? Did I save them wrongly? That's not level 2.
See.
That's not level 2.
That is not level 2. That is level 3.
Why have I saved it as level 2? We don't know. What?
What?
Where's level 2? What am I doing? What is my order? Well, that's stupid. Ooh. Well, I guess time to open Unity and grab it from there, apparently. Because I don't know. I don't know where it went. Too bad.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. Not really, but yeah. So yeah, I'm doing drill. I can't really say a lot about it. Profab is doing the more interesting stuff.
No, not really. I'm just.
Yes, you are.
I mean,
Do not dare talk back to me.
what's so interesting about a man just clicking on weird shaped cylinders?
Hey, I mean,
I
maybe
think
both of
if
your
you
streams are boring, and I should switch to mine.
well, that's fair.
Like,
That's fair.
oh, that was pretty harsh.
As you can see, Slice Interactive has a really healthy work environment. We all love each other.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Hey, I mean, I consider all of you guys my best friends, so.
Don't ruin my joke. I hate you. At least pretend like you hate me as well.
Wait, is the right screen sharing? No, it's
no.
not. That is the wrong screen.
That's.
I was
So
streaming
we
the
just say
wrong
it's
one.
about time to
We
show
are all
off the
professionals here at
gameplay.
Slice.
Also, spoiler, it's not a whole lot that is there so far.
Yeah, so I gotta explain. This is people seeing this.
Good luck explaining that.
With no explanation. So what we're looking at right now is the gameplay rewrite, the actual redone gameplay. And as I said, we're still using primitive stuff here as placeholders.
Spong grow legs.
This guy is Spong. He's our mascot, if you guys didn't know.
He's our god.
He normally doesn't have pants or legs, but he does here because we needed to give him the drip. But it's
So funny.
if you're wondering why it seems so empty and strange, that's why. It's just because we're using placeholders until we can get the stuff in game. But this is the completely redone gameplay that's being worked on here. So you'll see movement has been completely redone, and it's overall like way smoother. The player actually tilts on surfaces now.
To a certain degree.
The variable jump height in the game is significantly more noticeable. So like this is a small tap, and this is a long tap.
Hero, that was really funny to a certain degree. He tilts to a certain degree.
Shh. I wasn't even making a joke. That's just a
Yeah,
fact.
but
Here's our
I know.
tikis, and our tikis specifically are... I have so much stuff to explain after I finish showing the few things that are here.
We could totally
Spawn
have
could be in
a
there.
Spawn Easter egg to some degree. I don't see an issue with that.
We have
Yeah.
a rule here at Slice Interactive that Spong has to be in all of our games. Every single thing we make has to have Spong in it to some degree. Like, for example, in Slicey Dungeon, not only is he in the game, but he's a prominent character in the lore, and he heals you. A statue of him heals you when you need to... Or not heals you, it revives players. That's right.
And he has the most powerful sword parts.
Yes, the most powerful sword in the game is Spong themed, so...
Also, Spong is already technically in. It's the Spong mode.
That is true. Yeah, there's currently a game mode that you can play in BBT called Spong mode. That is the most difficult mode in the game. I do
harder in beta.
I do want to explain really quick or show momentum, because that's something big that comes with the rewrite. Is the player actually has momentum now that can be carried from moving platforms. And there's like a bunch of smaller mini mechanics that go along with it that I can see people using in speedruns. I'm excited to see what people do with that.
No war running, sadly.
And I know this seems super basic, but we created an entire framework, like an entire architecture for our projects now that we're using here. So we're not even using built-in Unity components and stuff. We've got our own way of setting up objects in the scene and doing that. And it's significantly better and easier to use than Unity's solutions. So Titanfall SpongeBob, I'd play that. Unironic.
I mean, there's basically
yeah,
bunny
please.
hopping now, kind of.
Yeah, you'll keep your momentum if you jump, or at least you'll lose it slower. So if you keep tapping the jump button when you have momentum from a platform, you can actually keep moving.
Better learn your one frames.
I've actually already found a bug of some kind with it that I don't think I'm going to fix. I have no clue how I did it, but one of the times I was messing with this platform, I got an insane speed boost. Like, insane. I got absolutely catapulted off the map. I have no clue how I did it. Honestly, I don't even want to find out, because I'm excited for someone else to find out and then abuse it, and then use it for their own devious purposes.
Or they're just gonna, or just happens randomly, and they're gonna yeet themselves.
It's not
out the map.
random. It's not random. I can confirm. Because of the many hours I have spent just randomly launching myself with this platform and procrastinating work, it has only happened once. And that one time it happened, I was in like a really particular position with the platform and how it was moving.
So, good news. Unity finally opened after 7 minutes or so, and I got and I officially retrieved level 2 drill. I don't know where it went. Oh fuck.
That's
No.
not level 2 drill. Come on.
That was wrong level 2 drill. That's correct level 2 drill.
Yeah. So you see what I mean now? How they look kind of similar?
Yeah, I
I'd
mean,
be careful.
okay, I'll try. I'll try. Super SpongeBob
Visible
64.
annoyance. in Hero's voice.
No, no, no. I don't know why, but I don't know why I made this the only version with a nose. But hey,
whoa, whoops.
You're right.
I think it,
Why
it
not?
makes it look a bit more unique.
Sure. All right. Time to scale you up a bit properly. Doesn't need to be perfect.
I switched to Profable Stream and it was boring, so I immediately switched back to Heroes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't do my boy like that.
That's my life. That's my
You did-
life.
You did him dirty. You did him real dirty.
Shrek will in fact not be in the game, I can confirm.
What? No.
There was an Easter egg for a while though in the previous build of Plankton Golf, where
Oh, that
outside
one,
the
yeah.
map there was a statue of Plankton with a golf club, really like poorly modeled, with
Well,
big cheeks, just sitting outside the map. It's gone
you
now.
could say that somebody once told him that he's not gonna be in the game.
How is the workflow between working with Blender and Unity? Well, considering the workflow in Unity is kind of terrible now, with anything, not very good. Overall, in the past, I'd say probably since 2016, Unity has just been progressively getting worse, just like down the toilet spiral. It's, as someone who's been using Unity since before it, because Unity used to be called Unity 3D, if you guys didn't know, and I've been using it since then. And since then there was Unity 3D, Unity 4, Unity 5, Unity 2017, Unity 2018, Unity 2019, Unity 2020, so on and so forth. I've used every version since Unity 3D, and ever since Unity 5 came out, it has been a progressive, just like, degeneration of the program. It's just been getting so much worse, so much more convoluted, changing random things, removing random features for absolutely no reason when there is no replacements, and with no warning, might I add. It's terrible. It's actually gotten so bad recently that I just don't even want to use Unity anymore. I straight up just want to stop using the program because it's gotten so awful to work with. It's gotten so bad that I've resorted to creating my own replacements for everything built into the engine. It's ridiculous. I shouldn't be having to do that. At that point, I just create my own engine. Why would I be using their engine if I have to end up just remaking everything from scratch? I'd say Unity is fine for, like, for smaller projects. But as soon as any project becomes more than, like, what you'd expect out of an indie game, it just gets ridiculous and super hard to maintain and manage. And all of the stuff they've been adding recently has been broken or just, like, never fully released. Like, oh, it's coming, it's in preview, you can use it, but it's unfunctional, it just doesn't work properly, and it'll stay that way for, like, 6 years. It's ridiculous.
I guess to kind of go back to what they probably originally meant. Well, overall, Unity and Blender are work well together.
They do
They're fully
work,
compatible. So you won't have any, like, normally you won't have any import issues or export issues.
I didn't mean to go on that rant. I'm sorry. It's just, it's a touchy subject for me because I've been using this program for so long, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. It's terrible. I will say though, it's still better than Unreal Engine. Unity still has a better workflow than Unreal Engine, and Unity's just been on a downward toilet bowl for years. Everybody that I talk to who isn't within like who doesn't work with these tools will immediately say like Unreal Engine's the best game engine, but they're like wrong. It's there's no such thing as the best game engine. Every engine has its strengths and weaknesses, and Unreal Engine has plenty of weaknesses, I assure you. It just so happens that Unity has been gaining a lot of weaknesses in the past few years, way more than it used to have.
Profabo, do you
No.
happen to have the new SpongeBob model on standby?
Yeah, sure.
Because I need to replace the eyes on the drills.
I'm pretty sure the new SpongeBob model doesn't have spherical eyes.
It doesn't? Pretty sure it does. Also, spoiler.
For what? For the model? We've already shown it.
Yeah. Have we shown it before?
We showed
Really?
it in the last slice of development, the mini one.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, SpongeBob's got a remodel. Visually, he's pretty much the same, but it's just way better to animate him, and he will be fully reanimated. Also, yeah, he actually has a facial.
I am
features.
so proud of how this model turned out. This is by far the best model I've ever created. It's so smooth.
So, little spoiler for Beyond Beta 1.0. We intend to add actual facial animations for SpongeBob and Patrick in Beta 2.0. So not in the next version. So for now, you'll have to live with their dead stare and and blank expression. But yeah, it will be a fully dynamic system that hopefully, if we can get it to work as we imagine it, then our characters could be really lively in gameplay. Like we're talking about gameplay and facial stuff. So expect a almost this kind of quality you expect from facial animations in a cutscene. Almost that, but for actual gameplay. Let's see if we can actually achieve that. Also, thank you for giving me Sponge Bobby.
You're welcome.
What's the file name? Sponge Bobby.
I mean, I wasn't sure if I had a file named SpongeBob in my downloads folder somewhere, so then it would be named like SpongeBob 001, and I didn't want to run into that issue, so I just called it SpongeBobby.
Bobby.
I just save
Bobby
everything
Tar.
that I don't really need any more than one time in my downloads folder.
Here he is, Sponge Bobby himself. Oh god, wrong rotation.
Also, Jake Neutron, to add on to your Unity thing, I still think out of all the mainstream engines that it is currently the most complete and probably the best choice at the moment. Godot isn't far enough developed for it to be worth using yet. And Unreal Engine, as I said, is like a terrible workflow, even worse than Unity.
Don't mind me ripping out SpongeBob's eyes.
Okay.
So I wouldn't feel bad about learning that. It's also the most used engine currently. Like, it's the most popular engine in the world. Oh, my alarm's going off. So learning it, has its benefits, even if it is kind of getting terrible. You ripped his eyes out of his head.
Okay.
It's kind of evil.
So two things. So first off, I don't know why, but origin to geometry just put it like here.
Do
I don't know
geometry to
why.
origin instead.
Yeah. Wait, go into edit mode.
Doesn't.
Go into edit mode. And yeah, vertex mode. Maybe you have like a vertex on the opposite side.
I wouldn't know where. I only only selected his eyes.
Go back to object mode. Go to object. Set origin. Origin to center of mass. Do surface. There you go.
Oh, okay, that worked. Let's see how I do this since these are no longer spherical.
Spherical.
Ugh.
That's the fun thing. You don't.
That is.
Yeah.
Small.
They ripped my eyes
Okay.
off. Yeah.
Oh god, no.
My eyes.
God.
No.
Please, please let me die.
SpongeBob in pain. Alright. Okay, so I think I actually have to make these spherical.
If you just
It's
rip
sh-
the eyes off of the slammer model, those should be fine.
Alright, then I need the salmon model to nicely ask if I could borrow his eyes.
Look at his facial expression on Profabo's screen in response to that.
What did you just say?
Could I use your eyes, please?
What
Oh, God.
There you go.
Oh wow, a new nice one I could borrow eyes from.
Here, I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, Profabo, he's gone. You know what that means. Time to spill the beans.
Okay. What do you guys want to know? This is your time. Ask anything. Okay. Those are a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Not all at once, please. Slow down, okay?
Oh no, wrong rotation.
What?
I just rotated the slimer in the wrong
Oh.
direction.
You'll have to see. Maybe you'll have to remove the vertex groups.
Probably. Oh god.
Because that might.
What is your name?
You
What
guys-
is your
you guys
quest?
better not have
What is
asked
your quest, Profabo?
So yeah, my name is Profeba, and my quest is to bring joy to all of our viewers
You
by.
guys better not have asked the audience to free you from my basement while I was gone. Or you'll end up in the closet again.
I would. I still want to see the closet. Please show me the closet. You'll have to eventually show me the closet, No Life.
What
please.
is your favorite color? I think Nolai's favorite color is red.
My favorite color is red when paired with black. If not paired with another color, then cyan.
Who am I? What year is it? Who's the president of the United States? I'd say you're George. It's the year 2058, and the president is
Kanye.
No Life. No. I don't know. I don't know if that will look fine or not. All right, let me rotate it a bit more.
Good shapes. Don't think I have good usable shapes for.
So okay, that is not.
Hmm. Single sign up. Good word.
So what do you guys think of the potential idea of since that is the level 1-1. Okay, never mind actually. Scrap that start.
What?
Huh?
Nothing.
What?
You're looking at the yes, sponge drill level 1 will be the president.
Okay. I'd be down for that. Honestly.
So can we just talk about
I can't see.
Oh god.
we'll just
Why is everything black? I can't see.
we'll just
BBT4 when?
all right. Mm, um all right,
No.
moving on. Oh no, his
What
lip.
are you doing?
Considering the eyes are missing, I think he's trying to cover it up so he doesn't have to look at the eyeless face anymore.
This is a child-friendly environment.
Oh god.
BBT4 when? No, like when will BBT4 release? Tell us.
Like 2 years.
There you have it. If 2 years from now on BBT4 does not exist, then you know we then I don't know, send us death threats. Oh God, no.
Please
don't do
don't.
that. Please don't do that. After BBT, we're not doing any fan games anymore. Only original titles, which we, by the way, we actually have some like currently in pre-production. So we have technically one currently announced, not released game, and that is Parallel. And that game's in pre-production right now, really early, but still.
So, No Life,
Huh?
Knat Red asks the very important question and legitimate question: what have you done to their children?
Oh, they're in the closet down here right now. It's where the bad kids go. Profable was there
They're-
yesterday.
They're being
It was
prepared
actually
to be
quite enjoyable down
sacrificed.
there. A lot of nice people there. A little bit crowded maybe. But like,
All you get to eat is kitty
gonna do?
kibble. All you get to eat is dry cat food, and you get to drink out of a water dish that just sits on the floor.
it's actually not that bad as it seems, as it sounds.
Wait, what happened to movie game reabsorbed? Ooh, what a great question. It-
Ooh,
It's
you mean-
it's hard to say what happened.
it's actually kind of easy.
It
But...
was a combination of a few things, but I wouldn't call it canceled. It's just on permanent hiatus until we can find the time to work on it, if at all. It might be canceled.
We can find the time to cancel it. Woo!
We haven't decided yet, because like a lot of us are passionate about that. We want that to exist, and it sucks that we can't. Yes, no, Bikini Bottom Online is canceled. We announced that
Straight up.
during the final or the last or like the previous full length slice of development that we did. Bikini Bottom Online just wasn't maintainable for the team the size that it is, and we ended up losing a lot of members around that time, and the team shrank by almost half. So it just wasn't gonna happen. We couldn't do it anymore, which sucks, but that's just how it goes sometimes. And Movie Game got put on hiatus around the same time because we just don't have the manpower to work on BBT, Movie Game, and Bikini Bottom Online at the same time. And after BBT, we don't want to be doing fan games anymore. We want to do our own titles, so we couldn't just postpone them until then. It sucks, but that kind of stuff just happens, and sometimes it's unavoidable. So, to give you a definitive answer to your question, Bikini Bottom Online is canceled. That game is dead. It's not going to happen at all. And Movie Game might still happen in some way. We have bounced around with the idea of perhaps adding it to, or as like sort of a DLC to BBT. So instead of it being its separate game, we'd have some Movie Game levels remade within BBT's engine, and you could just play them from within BBT. Or even another idea we talked about is when the level editor is complete, as sort of a showcase for it, maybe get some people in the community to work on remaking Movie Game in the level editor, and then releasing those level editor maps officially. But
Also,
that's still just conceptual. That is not like a guaranteed thing or a confirmation or anything. That's just an idea that we have.
also the main issue, also a big issue with movies. Just hold on.
Isaac, what's your opinion on the geopolitical state of Brazil?
No,
It's Brazil.
no.
I'll give you that.
Yes.
It is Brazil.
All right. Also, I'm sorry for that. What I want to say is that with movie, like Movie Game or just anything related to the SpongeBob movie, you're just getting yourself into way more risk of actually like risking any legal issues. I mean, the most recent example would be the release of the movie Rehydrated, reanimated. Sorry, all these
It was
words.
rehydrated. That's what it was called.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, I mean that was fun. Like ultimately, it wasn't its complete own thing, right? The only thing they copied was the script, and I mean, they got it back online after it was shut down, but only after shitstorm on Twitter and stuff. So you're a bit more you're walking on a more hot water with the movie and Movie Game. So, but what will it for sure happen though is we will continue to include sceneries and enemies and stuff like that from the movie and Movie Game. So that will still happen nonetheless. Just the extent of what happens to the actual Movie Game remake is remains to be seen. Okay, let's see. How do you think Profab, I think you're better at that than I am. Like, what kind of configuration of the eyelets do I need if I want him to look more happy?
No eyelids.
I mean,
I don't think he
depends on
needs
how
them.
happy you want him to look. So you
no,
could.
no eyelids at all. You
I don't.
say?
That's why he doesn't have them in the original.
I would. Depends. I would add eyelids. So you kind of have to have eyelids because then I don't know. It would look kind of weird.
Well, SpongeBob has no eyelids all the time. As long as you make sure that he has.
No, just because you can see the back of his eye.
I guess that's true, but it doesn't look that weird in game currently. Usually when SpongeBob does shapeshift, he doesn't always have eyelids.
I mean, the whole point I'm trying to make is he's supposed to look more dangerous. So the first one, he's just like a normal drill, not too anything too crazy. And the second level, the drill gets a bit more fancy and he starts to look angry. And then the third one, he's just a straight up mining drill, but sideways.
No life, do you know life? Yes.
I haven't heard that joke before.
Yeah, never before. It's a new one. What do
Yes.
you mean? It's brand new.
Seems missed opportunity as Sponge's face as the square part of the drill.
You're not
Uh,
wrong, but I don't think it
You're
looks
not-
bad the way it is right now either. It's
You're not wrong.
the way it's the
Yeah.
reason it's like that is so that it's consistent between each of the drill models where the face is on the top. If you immediately move the face to a different part of the mesh, it's gonna look kind of weird transitioning to it.
Is it always on the top though?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
In a way, on the level
technically
2 model, you have like the
speaking,
nose
it's
side.
rotated. It needs to be like that.
What did you say,
But-
Profugo?
On the level 2 drill, you kind of have his nose on the side as well.
His nose is fine, but the eyes need to be sticking out of the top.
Like, where do you want to put his nose?
I
Like, he's rotating like that.
I mean,
you know?
I think a good example of like what this person's saying is our safe. Our safe has it coming out of the front, doesn't it? For the smash.
I'm not sure actually.
I'm pretty sure it does. But anyways, these look good as they are. I don't think it needs to be adjusted. I like the face being at the top and in the center.
A little thing that you could add is to have the nose kind of hang behind in the model, as if it's like hanging behind because of the motion, the rotational motion.
You could rig it. You could give it a rig and then animate it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of pointless, though. I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, have it.
Yeah,
Like,
you could just do that with an animation and even have it like wiggle around too if you wanted to. It would be a
Yeah,
pretty
but
simple rig.
that'll be so unnoticeable. Yeah, just do it like that and rotate it then. I know.
I don't know why. Don't edit those other meshes, please. Please
not.
leave them. I don't want to have to deal with getting those in game.
I mean, eventually you have to.
I don't have to re-import those other ones. They're already in the project and set up. Like, even if I have to reset them up with the new player, they're, like, set up in the project, and I don't want to have to do that.
So no new eyes for them, you say?
I just leave it. They're fine. They look okay.
Alright, then they have two different eyes, though. Should I
I
copy
guess,
over the old? Should I just reuse the old eyeball?
Never mind. Just, yeah. I'll re-import all of them. It's fine. But don't bend the nose,
boy.
please.
Yeah, I won't. I wasn't too big of a fan. I get what you're trying to do, but I think especially if you do like the spin in midair, and the spin smash, for example, you have moments where the drill is kind of static in the air and having his nose just be weirdly to the side looks. I think it's fine, honestly. With stuff like that, you start to not notice it. A lot of times it just kind of happens, and as long as there's nothing bad sticking out, it's not.
I think that's where the dedication to details like lace.
Either it's going to be rigged or
Yeah.
it's not going to be bent at all. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, I don't think that creating a rig for each and every single variant of these would really be worth it, and on the time it would take.
I agree.
But
I think
why
the extra
just-
trail effect that we're gonna add should also just help a lot, make it stick
Yeah.
out more.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. If for some reason it's still like, I don't know, feels not polished enough for you, then we can maybe talk. For now, I'll say leave it.
Oh god, the slammer now looks like he's gone insane.
He's finally snapped.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, can you blame him? I ripped out his eyes.
Yeah,
Well, I ripped out his
I think
cousin's
he
eyes.
saw the stream. I think he saw what you did to him.
Oh, it was his
I was
cousin.
concerned.
I mean, that one obviously still has his eyes. I ripped out his cousin's eyes, and now he's kind of traumatized.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Can't
what
necessarily
happened.
blame him, but you know, sacrifices have to be made.
Oh,
have to be made.
oh God. I mean, you're not wrong, but
It's nice to hear that you love Krabby Patty Watts.
I love Krabby SpongeBob. That's what he's referencing specifically. It's the meme.
Le meme.
Yes.
it's the meme. The meme. The one meme.
The singular, individual, only meme.
Meme. The meme no one has ever memed before.
I like those memes that no one has memed before. They always feel so fresh.
Meme. 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 I sure like me some good memes.
I was gonna try and work on combat during this, but I can't focus. It's too difficult with this my left monitor being the Discord, and I also have the chat open and actual Discord like open at the same time. It's just
Yeah.
So I guess did the concept fail?
no. We just need somebody else who can manage the like.
Where's
actual
Mason when you
streams.
need him?
The
He's
reason I
watching-
can't work is because I have to do all that myself, like switching between your guys' streams when you're
Wait,
talking.
actually, let me read out Mason's excuse if I can find it. Where did he?
He's
where
watching
was
Puss
that?
in Boots. That's what he's doing.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna say, let me read out the donations.
I wish.
I love Spunk.
I'm poor.
All right, I guess what could we do? So how about you talk a bit about just in general what's left for beta
What's
to give like a
left for
broad
beta?
overview.
Okay. So the gameplay's going well so far. I'd say we'll likely have within 2 weeks everything but enemies done, gameplay wise. And then after that, we have to do enemies, which I can't really give a time frame. It's all over the place. It's kind of the least predictable out of all of them, which is funny, because before I totally would have said that was nuclei, but I'm actually pretty confident in that now.
Sorry to interrupt already, but should I use the new SpongeBob textures Sloth made?
Yes.
All right, go on. Sorry.
What was I saying? Right. So after the gameplay, which should be pretty much done in about 2 weeks, we'll have enemies and the AI, the enemy AI, and all that, which I don't know how long that's going to take. We'll see. Then after that, we have nuclei, which is already like pretty developed. Just needs to be completed. Then multiplayer, which shouldn't be too bad, knock on wood, and I say that because of ECT. How it's set up should really accelerate multiplayer development. Then after multiplayer is the launcher,
Very important.
and then we're pretty much done.
So as Sloth never sent a texture, I just asked him to when he's ready, so I kind of have to leave it like that, I guess,
The
for now.
SpongeBob texture?
Yeah, the new one.
Robobo has it. I mean, it's literally on his SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, I have it. Right.
Wait, is it you? Like the actual, like
Yes.
the just made?
Yeah.
He didn't just make one. It's been done for months.
I
Did
can
he
also
just
send you the normal
test
map.
working
with
on a
it
normal
in-
map.
Oh.
I think I have the old normal map.
Oh,
Don't use
okay,
that.
then
That's gross.
never mind, then just give me the normal one.
Hold on, let me quickly find it.
What was I saying? Right, yeah. After the launcher, that's
Yeah.
pretty much everything. And I don't see... The only thing out of those that I'm genuinely worried about is Probably the enemy AI, and I don't even see it being that bad. So, because I'm building the system myself, I'm not having to use Unity's jank-ass nav mesh system.
Huh. Noslav claims he did make a new texture and substance.
He did not, though. He
Oh.
altered it, I guess. Wait, no, he didn't. All he did was normal map. I'm like positive.
Okay, it seems like I don't have the texture in my DMs. Then, see if I can find it on my PC.
Our view count has halved.
What?
We had 12
No!
viewers, now we have 6.
No! I mean, it was fluctuating a lot. But like 12, but after that, like a few minutes later, 8, then we went back up to 11. We hit an all-time low. I'm pretty sure 3 of those people are us.
Probably, yeah.
Too bad. Anyway, yeah, anyway. A lot of anyways.
Well, it wouldn't
I
count
technically
me, but
redid the belt. He said.
I guess.
just use the old one for now. It should be fine.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, it's just I
not
just
the
needed
old
for
one, not the old one as in like the alpha texture, because that won't work.
where we have it.
You'll have to get the one that Profobo's using.
Yep. Can you send me that?
Yeah, I'm still
I
looking
just
for it.
I just need it for the placement of the holes.
I know.
Okay,
Give
chill.
me a second.
Don't hurt me, please.
I think it should be this one. Pretty sure it's this one.
Yeah, that looks pretty much new.
Not sure how the
SpongeBob
old one looked. Can't remember.
T stands for okay. Yeah, that
If
that
if
does
the
not
viewer
work
count
anymore.
doesn't go back up, we should probably end the stream.
I will have to leave pretty soon anyway. So I mean, we did show off everything we wanted. So is there still anyone here in the chat? Would you guys want to have these more often? I mean, not anytime soon because we won't have a lot to show off in the next few weeks. But
I mean, if we all have
like,
something to work on, then that'd be fine.
I mean, sure, but
Is
especially
that
like I'm
always the case.
I mean, if we're
Kind
all
of.
actively working on something at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially post beta, as we said, post beta, pretty much all the work that will be done will be for new content. So hopefully we can kind of fix the content drought that BBT's been through. So yeah, we are aware that the content isn't like a lot, even in beta. You'll have 3 maps multiplayer, and I mean like, this what's there is great. It's just not a lot, and we are
3
aware.
main maps as well as 3 survival maps. Don't forget that.
Yeah, but these are not. These are kind of copied, so you get what I mean.
We aren't leaving right this second. Not right this second.
Yeah, but yeah, so we are aware that there isn't a whole lot of content just yet. But beta was just really, really important to do now. But moving onwards, everything you'll see will be about new maps, new enemies, and later on, of course, the main attraction will be about the campaign.
Yes, baby.
So, beta 1.0 is the next update. Then there's going to be another major beta update, beta 2.0, which will add in the inked and
It will actually finally be time for the inked after we teased them ever since BBT was teased.
Yeah, so we'll have the inked in the build after the next one, and then after that is
It's chapter 1
it's
time.
chapter 1. Yeah.
So
Campaign is finally getting close. That's
Some really
it
terrifying.
exciting-
will still be it will still take a while, but so don't expect anything too soon. But we will actually actively work on it, like everyone, not just a tiny bit here and a tiny bit there.
It will be the main focus.
Yes. So that is that. All right. So I think instead of artificially dragging it on, I think it would make sense to end it here then.
All right. This stream
That was
nice.
pretty much exact 2 hours now as well.
Already?
Yeah.
Yep.
We got.
Those went by fast. I mean, okay,
We weren't
I
here the whole time.
I was about to say.
We got 3 new people to join the Discord server to join our cult within that time. So
Those are probably the
Right.
people that are still watching, the 3.
and Jake Neutron was watching, who's a YouTuber that I actually have been watching the content of for years.
May or may not have added them to the YouTuber list.
Actually joined the server. Yeah, I've recently had a video of him in my recommended of like the Jimmy Neutron model talking with Timmy Turner. Do the
know.
animation, please, Pride.
When he messaged in the chat or them, I'd assume he, but I don't normally like to do that. But when they messaged in the chat, I was like, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. You didn't even ask Hero. I was like, wait a second.
I mean, you know, Professor can look it up once the stream is done.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I saw that he joined, and I immediately looked his content, and then I remembered, oh, it was that guy.
So yeah.
That's really nice.
Well, considering that I pretty much exclusively listen to their version of like one of the Steven Universe songs, and I have it in my playlist, and I listen to it like probably once a week. It was kind of wild to see that name pop up in the chat. It's kind of
Understandable.
bamboozled. Not bamboozled. I was kind of like blown away. It was really crazy to see.
Yeah. Hero, shouldn't you probably?
We should probably say
Alright.
goodbye now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that as well.
All right. This was
So,
fun, guys.
Yeah,
it was really
expect
fun.
stuff soon.
I always like
Right.
talking to our community. Doesn't happen that
Alright.
often. Now we're only 4.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Until next